Todd Fenwick here with part 4 of HLCs from HLC to life after HLC, sorry. Tonight's agenda, we're going to cover two main topics. We're going to cover that of financial aid and the actual cost calculator. Up until now, we've done the program history, the armed services, technical schools, standardized testing, applying to college, and transcripts. In the last part 5 hopefully, we're going to talk about IEPs in college and some anecdotal information about where HLC students have gone and maybe some programs to consider. So hang on and here we go. So the number one rule about financial aid is to apply as early as you can. And the reason being, college is incredibly expensive, and the way that the federal government funds higher education is that on January 1st, the applications for aid are accepted. And that is done through the FAFSA. I think I have it spelled wrong here. Somebody was telling me. It's supposed to be the Federal Application for Student Aid for students. So it's FAFSA. I apologize. I really should fix that. That starts on January 1st and proceeds until June 1st in New Jersey. Different states have different deadlines. And the way that this works is that the most amount of money is available on January 1st, and it is dwindles from there. So the earlier that you apply, the more likely it is that you're going to get the most available amount of money. Whereas if somebody waits until June 25th, June 26th, June 27th, June 28th, or heavens to bed, June 29th, you're going to end up getting almost little to nothing. And so it's so important that students and parents sit down and complete the FAFSA together. It starts with getting a PIN, and you go to a pin.gov, G-O-V, to get that information. The student has to answer a series of questions, and then the parents have to answer a series of questions. And together, that creates a financial aid picture for the government. And then they will present to you all the options that are available to you for aid. The one that we love the best, of course, are the Pell Grants. They're free money to attend. And probably the ones we like least are the student loans. And again, it all depends on your financial aid picture, how much you're paying in taxes, how many children are in the family, how many children are in college at the same time as the student. So it goes to a big picture that allows families to understand what their financial needs are going to be. Now, that's when they know when they're going. Something that is new is called the actual cost calculator, and that was a recent mandate by the federal government, and its purpose is to give students and parents a better idea of the total cost of attending any particular college. And every college should have this by now. Some don't, I'm sure. They may be behind the ball. But it is important that they do that. So what does that look like? Well, you can go to any college, and they're going to refer you to their actual cost calculator. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Just a second here. Hold on. In my case, I went to the College of New Jersey, and you can see that down on the bottom of the screen here, and they call it these are all screenshots from the web. If you go to any college and look for the term college actual cost calculator, you'll get to something that looks a lot like this. And so it'll say basically, this is the college. You're going to enter in your basic information here. Stuff like, do you plan on living at this particular college when you attend? How long have you lived in New Jersey? Where will you be? What will you be 24 years of age or older when you enroll? Again, that will impact. So you'll answer these questions as honestly and as truthfully as you can. I'll bring you another step where you'll talk about your family's financial aid or financial information. And then the net result is going to be a picture of what the college costs in general, including expenditures to expect, like books and student fees. And then it's going to give you a picture of what your picture is going to look like. And that is to say, based on your current financial records that you're indicating to us, this is what your final cost is going to look like per year. And again, you're going to have to understand that college costs are going to occur every year a student is in college. The big push, of course, is for college students to get through college in 4 years, but realistically, students do not get through a 4-year degree in 4 years anymore. A number of variables in that. One of those variables being that colleges are raising standards and students are needing to complete more courses to graduate in the degree that they want. It may be that your student chooses to double major or have a significant minor or gets a degree, a grade in a class that is not allow them to meet the requirements for that class and they have to retake it. Many college students are now doing summers in order to get out in 4 years. That's an added cost that needs to be calculated into the financial picture. And that if finances are a hardship, that is certainly a concern. I was fortunate that I was able to, through student loans and through, I actually had a graduate assistantship as an undergrad, probably never ever unheard of, but I only have to worry about my last 2 years of education. No, the Navy did not pay for my education. That's a long, sad story, sore story more than the point. But I ended up being in college for 5 years, and that worked for me. And I tell kids this all the time, not because I think it's for everyone, but because I needed less demands academically on my schedule, because I did have to work through college. But there were a number of things that I was involved in on campus and off campus that took my time. And so I ended up spending 5 years, and it was really the best choice for me. If anybody has any questions about the details of that, you can certainly drop me an email, and I'd gladly tell you more about it. But here in the end, we have the what you're going to be looking at as far as possible fees. Now, this is nice. I'm not going to lie. It's great to have this by the government, but there's really nothing here, it's been my experience, that students couldn't find online through different college guide books or services. Again, we subscribe to Career Cruising, and that has the best possible published information about the colleges and what students can expect as far as tuition and fees. And you can walk into any bookstore or online, is more the case these days, and purchase a student guide that will give you all the particulars of all the colleges in the United States or different regions in the United States, and find out what their published prices are. And you're gonna have to plan for that accordingly. College is not something that is paid for on a whim. I'm sure many of you who are thinking about your student graduating in high school and are thinking about what it is that they're going to do have started to put monies aside in preparation for this, because even with financial aid, there are going to be costs. Students are going to need money for books, they're going to need money for laundry, they're going to need money to get back and forth, and that's just scraping the surface to college costs. So my point is that an actual cost calculator is great to see some of the specifics, but again, you can go online and find that information and generalities of what these costs are going to cost to attend and stay at college, and then you'll be able to better make decisions without having to go all through the machinations of, getting tax records out. Again, this is just, it says calculator. It's really kind of calculator is maybe a strong word. It's going to be an indicator. It's going to say generally what you're going to be expecting. And I think it'll be interesting as time goes on how they refine this college calculator in weighing that against what financial aid does finally present when you do that. Again, the number one rule, go back to that really quick, is to apply early. You can get that PIN, you can get that account set up on January 1st and get that information there as soon as you have that tax information. I realize some people don't get their tax information until the 15th or even the 30th of January, so it's a little harder. But doing that in February and March is much preferred than April and May to get that information in to apply for financial aid. So we're coming up on the 10-minute mark. That does it for part 4 of From HLC to Life After HLC, and I hope you'll join us for part 5, where we're going to talk about IEPs and how to get in touch with myself and Mrs. Tardivi. And thank you. See you then.